Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between and adjacent, welcome to the Rush Rundown, what I believe is the first and only 10-minute testing ripoff for Rush Duels. Today on the Rush Rundown, we're doing something a little bit different. We're taking a look at a deck played by one of the antagonists from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime. This deck combines the Rush exclusive Cyborg type, as well as some theater kids, to create what I would like to present to you, Metarion.
You spend $500 to bully children. I'll spend $1,000 before I leave a child unbullied.
This is the part of the video where I tell you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. First of all, before we get into the card by card, I would like to say this video was recommended by one of my comments. If there's a deck you would like to see me feature in this series, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I read all the comments, and I would like to hear what you want to see next. As you can see from the right side of the screen, I have plenty of cards to play plenty of decks. Now, like always, we must start from our skill. Now, Metarion's interesting in that this deck is a fusion deck. And now for our skill, we actually have two decent options. We have the Metarion script, which is the skill I'm using for this deck. As well, we have Fusion Deal. If you're not familiar with the deal skills in Rush, they just mean when you have the card that you are making a deal for in your hand, you set it to your field, and you draw a card once per duel. Now, the skill we're playing, Metarion Script, says can be activated from turn 2 onward if all monsters in your constructed deck are light attribute monsters with 500 defense. Send one imaginary actor or monster reincarnation from your deck to the graveyard, each card once per duel. Or send one card from your hand to the graveyard, add one imaginary Arc Turbo from your deck or graveyard to your hand. This turn, your opponent takes no battle damage from battles involving your monsters with 4,300 or more attack. Now, that skill doesn't have any fusion synergy, yet we are a fusion deck. Metarion, unlike Hero and unlike Cyber Dragon, does not just cheat out getting fusion. We have to find it the hard way, which is why we are playing 3 fusion. And now, for the cards that go along with our skill, we are playing 3 Imaginary React. Now, this card's actually pretty interesting. We had this released here in Duel Links before it got printed in paper. And I would like to go over the effect because you're probably not familiar with this card at all unless you've actually taken a look at Metarion yourself already. If you have 10 or more cards in your deck, send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. This card's name becomes Imaginary Actor until the end of your opponent's next turn. Then, you can place 1 monster reincarnation from your graveyard on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, you can also draw 2 cards. This is the reason Metarion's script mentions monster reincarnation. But basically, what this card is doing is essentially setting us up to loop monster reincarnation. Either maybe we used it or we used the skill to send it to just plus us on advantage. Now, the rest of our monster lineup are all vanillas. We are playing 3 Sir Painter, 3 Sword Dancer, 3 Magic Juggler, and 3 Imaginary Actor. These monsters are just the materials for our fusions, which is very important. So let's skip our spells and jump to the fusions. We are playing 2 Metarion Hercules Star, 2 Metarion Ashura Star, and 2 Metarion Vitra Star. So we have all these different type hatred cards in our deck, and you might be thinking, well, what do we do if we're not facing that type? Well, our normal monsters that make up the other material are those types we are hating, and because they are those types, we play 2 type change beam. Reveal 1 monster in your hand. Choose up to 3 face-up monsters in the opponent's field. This turn, those monsters become the same type as the monster revealed to meet the requirement. We are playing 3 copies of Star Restart. Now, the other card mentioned on our skill is Imaginary Arc Turbo. This sends 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, make 1 face-up level 9 light attribute monster or 1 face-up light attribute normal monster on your field, gain 500 attack until the end of this turn. If you have Imaginary Actor in the graveyard, that monster gains an additional 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. We are playing 2 Barrage of Steel, and that's it for the spells. Our trap lineup, you'll notice, actually, first of all, we are not playing the Talismanic Seal Array. It's just a little too much for this deck. This deck already does what Seal Array does in its engine, so we didn't bother. 1 Negate Attack, no limit 2s, so we play Negate Attack, and 1 Buffered Slime. Now, this is where people are going to disagree with me greatly. I'm playing 2 card restorations. Why is that? Because I think this deck is way too bricky, that I want the extra card from card restoration. Now, we can definitely agree to disagree. I was actually originally playing 2 Stealth Magic in this slot, just to pitch a card to then get a new card. It just ended up not working out that often, where I was missing critical back row at good points. Like, I would have my spells in rotation and everything, but my monsters were kind of stranded with no backup. So I went ahead and added card restoration to at least give us, the player, more life points, to hopefully not die. Now, why don't we actually see what it can do against, hopefully, more than just Cyber Dragon. Alright, so we're here with our game 1, and you can see this is actually a bit of an older build of the deck I was playing around with. This replays actually from before I decided to work on the Rush Rundown. It's just a little, it was just a normal ranked game when I was just trying Metarion when it first came out. Our opponent's on Cyber Dragon, but as you can tell here, they haven't actually cleared out all the old structure deck cards from their deck. So they're playing the Grand Cerberus in their deck, but they do have the skill, which isn't available in the regular structure. Now, we go ahead and we use our Stealth Magic. This is what I really liked about Stealth Magic. It just draws us a new card, and you can see we got a pretty poor draw all around. Bad hand, bad draw, but our back row is decently strong. We have card restoration for at least a couple draws. Yeah, we still only get the 1 extra from card restoration, but we are pretty much well off from being killed in any way. The only thing that would actually kill us here is Cyber Twin and Ancient Gear Golem. Now, this is a bit of a how did we survive from here? Well, we just hold our hands in prayer and say, please, God, let our opponent misplay. And you can see that they got in for a lot of damage. However, they swing in with Cyber Twin. We go ahead and draw off card restoration. They almost kill us. We go ahead and activate Slime, blocking the last attack. So we lived, and you'll notice we drew Magic Juggler and Imaginary Actor with type Change Beam left on field. So we're going to go ahead and reveal the Juggler, turn those guys into Spellcasters, and then it's just a quick little Juggler and Actor fusion into Hercules Star. Here he comes. There's Hercules Star. Effect, shuffle away their 2 Spellcasters, also putting Negate Attack back into our deck. We set our 3 spell cards. They're all fake, but we need the draws, so we go ahead and put those back. Now, we are insanely weak to just getting, cracked back here. However, the opponent only sees a 2800 monster and a threatening unknown back row. They go ahead and set 2, summon a Cyber Dragon, skill, they add fusion, and I was pretty worried that Cyber Twin was coming down. They Barrage of Steel our back row, they Barrage of Steel our other back row, and I guess the other card in hand was not a Cyber Dragon. They scoop it up there, realizing they cannot out the Hercules Star. Not the greatest game in the world, I'll be honest, but I've got some other bangers for you next. Alright, we're on game 2, and our opponent is on Light Galaxy. We're going to have to be specific now with Light Galaxy, because Dark Galaxy coming soon. .tm. Now, you can see we're going first, and we have a pretty insane hand for going first. We open all 3 of our staple trap cards. We're going to hold Buffer Slime in hand. We don't want to risk this being killed by an MST. As well, it's also not that great to have at the start. You'll notice they opened the Cosmo Titan, they opened Secret Order, so they went ahead and got themselves the Meteor Charge to hand. They're going to set 2. They're not using the Meteor Charge, noticeably. I guess they don't really feel worried about this current board, or they expected a trap card to stop them. You'll see the Restoration, drawing into Restoration. Insane. As well, we got the perfect cards we needed to go ahead and reveal Sir Painter, turn that bad boy into a dragon. And now, just a quick little fusion. We summon Ritra Star. Go ahead, pop the dragon on their side of the field, Star Restart. get us Juggler back for some extra damage. Empty out the hand. Remember, we still have negate attack in hand. Go ahead and send Reincarnation. We do not want to draw the Reincarnation. Our graveyard isn't really that good for it right now. So we're going ahead and just swing in for 1400. And now we go ahead and see what the opponent can do back. They did use a strange wall to lower down our Vitrastar's attack. Not perfect. I wouldn't do that. I would have saved that for a play like if they went for the Cosmo Titan here, they would have the trap card to then contest the Vitrastar, like make the monsters crash if Vitrastar attacked in. But they had Tribute to the Doomed anyway, so they just popped it, pitching the Vortex Shooter. They summon the Titan. We reveal the second card Restoration, drawing another perfect hand. We go ahead and summon Imaginary Reactor, put back the Monster Reincarnation, draw 2. We have basically a custom hand. We have every card we need. Turn this guy into a warrior. Go and star restart. Bring back the other Sword Dancer. We're going to fuse for our first Ashura Star. Following that, go ahead and match Arc Turbo, and they realize they are about to be punched for a whole lot of damage and call it there. Yeah, you see that the opponents did scoop pretty quickly both games, but these games have shown off exactly what I want to show you the deck doing, so we had to include them. Alright, game 3, and you know what that means. A 1v1 versus Cyber Dragon. We're going first, and we don't have a great hand. Honestly, we can at least set everything so it's not too awful, but we are setting cards that don't do a god dang thing. Opponent goes ahead and reveals the Avant Wolf, and we go, oh boy, oh geez, Cyber Dragon once again. However, somehow, the opponent did not open any of the Cyber Dragon monsters, so we are actually incredibly big chilling here. They MST'd one of our sets, which is whatever. We go ahead and type Charge Beam, turn those guys into warriors. We do in fact have everything we need. Pop the back row, star restart, bring Sir Painter out, normal. Ooh, we're going to script first because we need the reactor draw. Go ahead, hit there. Summon the Sword Dancer, Fusion. Summon out the Ashura Star. Make him... Well, hold on. We're still comboing. Summon the Vitrastar. Now we go ahead and Ashura Star, make him huge. Vitrastar, flip that guy, reveal it was a Proto Cyber Dragon, and we're just going to go ahead and swing in for 4,400, swing in for 1,300, and swing in for another 200, leaving the opponent at exactly 100 life points. Now, honestly, Cyber Dragon can crack a pack pretty hard here. Unfortunately for them, our monsters are 2,800, so that cannot be with Cyber Twin Dragon. And they say, nope, didn't draw it. They crash into us, and we win. Yeah, all 3 games were kind of like this, where the opponent realizes, oh, I've got nothing here, Chief. And they just get out real quickly. So we're back with the deck, and hey, that looked pretty good. Let's get into the pros and cons. First, the cons. This deck is actually crazy bricky. You saw in those games with how much advantage we drew that a lot of the cards were do-nothings. They were cards that were just missing the other pieces, and in the games I didn't show you, those were our normal draws for turn. We'd frequently get hands that were either all like star restart and normal monsters and no poly, or just every monster and no back row. It was very rough, but the pros, because yes, that was just the one con. The pros, when you draw good, you draw insane. The deck feels incredible when you actually establish a board, and if you actually stick a fusion monster for more than one turn, you have essentially won the game. Now, what I think the deck is really missing is some sort of way of finding fusion consistently. I've considered just going for the fusion deal build, playing Essel, and then just restarting to get fusion that's hopefully milled off Essel and all these other kinds of different ways to play the deck. But when it comes down to it, Metarion script, recycling reincarnation with reactor is such a powerful combo and advantage that I can't really fight playing it. But with that said, I would love to hear what you, the commenters, have to think about this deck. There are so many other ways to build it aside from the way I've shown you here. There's a whole nother fusion monster in the game that is not included in our deck here that you might think is better. So I want to hear from you down below on what way you like to play Metarion. So with that said, that's all from me today. Thank you for watching the video. Again, comment down below if any decks you would like to see featured on a future episode of this series. Leave those down below as well. Goodbye.